Joining us now, Republican Congressman from New Jersey and member of the House Judiciary Committee, Jeff Van Drew. Congressman, thanks so much for being with us this afternoon on American Agenda. I have to ask, do you think what we've just learned about voting in New Jersey might help push through the Save America Act for President Trump?
Well, I certainly hope so. We shouldn't have needed that. But this is really, it's ironic. For years, the Democrats, the left, have been saying to us, there's nothing to see there, nothing to worry about, and that Republicans and that I was making everything up. They were almost laughing about it. It was a joke. There's no problem. There are no illegals voting anywhere in America. Well, I got to tell you, I guarantee you it's not only New Jersey. We've just uncovered it in New Jersey. I guarantee you it's probably more in New Jersey than what's been uncovered to date. And I also guarantee that we're going to leave no stone unturned. So I am glad and was supportive of having the Department of Justice come in. We've got to keep working on this. We've got to find out more. I hope in my subcommittee that I chair on Oversight and Judiciary that we are going to have a hearing just on this issue alone to try to propel this bill, the SAVE Act. It's real simple. There's nobody in America of any party that should be against having only American citizens vote in American elections. It's not real complicated.
Well, Congressman, voter ID, citizenship to register, that's like over 80%. The majority of the country does agree, regardless of party, that we need this here. Talk about reconciliation. If this gets through the House up to the Senate, what in the world could possibly be the hangups? Why wouldn't every single senator, at least on the Republican side, have no issue trying to get that through via reconciliation?
Now, the Senate's driving me crazy. I mean, the whole thing with the filibuster, filibuster used to be that a senator would stand and talk for hours and hours and prevent for a little while from forward progress because that senator was really trying to make a point. That was a standing filibuster. Historically, that's what we always had. In more recent history, they went to this 60-vote minimum in order to get something done. That is crazy. If the Democrats ever take over the Senate, they're not going to abide by it. I guarantee it. I will bet anybody any amount of money anywhere they won't do it because they're not stupid. They want to get stuff done. When you have a majority, don't make it meaningless by saying, no, a majority is not good enough. Now you almost need a supermajority. That's not the way the Constitution is. This is not what was written in the Constitution. It is not the way that we should be. So, the senators really got to get their act together, make sure that we're doing the right thing for America. And if we need to do it by reconciliation, I'm sure we'll get it done. But either way, we need to get the Save America Act done. I really hope and pray that it gets done. It would be a sad day for America if we don't achieve this goal.
Congressman, what message would you like to send to Americans, as Bob pointed out, the high majority of Americans who say, listen, this should be a no-brainer. Of course this should be passed. Of course you should have to be a citizen to vote. Showing an ID is not a big deal. You have to do it every time. I have to do it when I pick up a prescription for my dog at
anything.
At the pharmacy.
It's anything in life. You gotta have an ID.
Exactly. What would you tell Americans who are just wondering, why is this not going through?
Well, the first thing I would say, or to the Democrats, I would say, you know what, if there's nothing to worry about there, nothing to see there, by and large, everything's perfect, you shouldn't be afraid of the Save America Act. All it says is you have to be who you say you are, and you have to be an American to vote in an American election. To Americans, I would say I agree with them. They're right. Good old-fashioned common American sense takes the day here. And I would say to them personally, from my viewpoint, and some of my colleagues for sure, we will fight relentlessly, regardless of how long it takes, and I hope it doesn't take long, to make sure this becomes the law of the state, not of the state of New Jersey, of the United States of America. No country that ever prevails in world history throughout time could ever prevail with open borders, with having non-Americans vote in elections. It is crazy. It's insane, and we can't do it. And I would finally say to all those Americans out there, I am with you, others are with you, and we're going to fight this fight. And eventually, hopefully sooner than later, we will win.
Well, big revelations today. Interested to see what else you might find
That's right.
in your state.
Exactly.
Congressman Jeff Van Drew, sir, always a pleasure. Stop back soon. Good to see you.
You got it.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Congressman. All right. And